an innocent man who was murdered in cold blood, a head of state, by the northern soldiers. They came together. And nobody talks about it. They keep on talking about Igbo coup, Igbo coup. That was never an Igbo coup. For many years, for more than 50-something years. And many people have lost their life because of that war. In that lie, in the midst of that lie, still, an Igbo man came in to calm the situation. We didn't go for vengeance. We have the power, we have the authority, we have the wealth to go for vengeance. We did not go for vengeance. After the pogrom, there was no vengeance. An Igbo man still came in to make peace. Our eternal leader, Dim Odumegwu, came into the picture. And he went as far as speaking about the regional government. Regional government, every region, go back to your base how we started. Be on your own side, be on your side. We can have a central government. Meanwhile, let every region rule themselves. An Igbo man took them all the way to Aburi to maintain peace. They refused to listen. They agreed in Aburi, signed the accord, the Aburi Accord. It was signed by Gowon. On getting back to Nigeria, their British slave masters advised them to withdraw from the agreement, and they did. That was the second time an Igbo man went forward to save, not to create Igbo nation, not to create anything. It was to save Nigeria. That move was to save Nigeria. You see, many of them today, they up to today, someone will come and say that Aguiyi introduced the unitary system. Aguiyi introduced the unitary system. Aguiyi introduced the unitary system. And after the pogrom, Dim Odumegwu came to the picture and said, let's go back to regional system. You signed up for that regional system. Did you carry it out? They did not. Instead of abiding by the regional system, they continued the program. And our eternal leader said, no, that's not going to happen. I'm going to protect my people. And they went ahead. When our eternal leader decided to protect his people, to guide his people, after they have withdrawn from the agreement written, they didn't stop at that. They brought war to us. We didn't go to Nigeria to fight. We were in Biafra land, securing ourselves, putting our economy in order, doing things in order. And Nigeria came to war with war. And they fought. And we defended ourselves. Alone, without any support. Nigeria came with the support of all the Arab nations. The support of the British. The support of the Russians. Even the United States to an extent. The little Biafra fought for 3 good years. 3 good years. Until our eternal leader have to leave to save life. They came in and they brought in their fake no victor, no vanquish. We know that we are victor, that we are vanquished. We know. They brought in that fake no victor, no vanquish. And General Effiong went in for the agreement and told them that if you do not treat our children well, they are going to rise up. General Effiong warned them. If you don't treat our children well, they are going to rise up. At that moment, they promised the 3R: reintegration, reconstruction, and rehabilitation. Reintegration, reconstruction, and rehabilitation. In these 3 promises, none of them was fulfilled. Up to this moment as we speak, Nigeria did not fulfill any. It's been almost 60 years. They didn't fulfill any. All the things story I've told now are steps that the Biafrans have taken to keep peace in Nigeria, to maintain Nigeria, make sure that it works for every indigenous person. But each time when that moves becomes a backlash, we become an enemy to the people instead of being appreciated. As if that is not enough. Owazuki came to the picture. You saw how he ended. They attacked him, they betrayed him, they blackmailed him, and he fell out. MAZI NNAMDI KANU came to the picture. and still gave them the olive branch. What is the demand of MAZI NNAMDI KANU? Open the seaport in Iguacha. Give us an international airport. Put our roads in order. Simple request, responsibility of a government. Follow it up. That was simple. And we won't have any cause to talk. Simple request. When MAZI NNAMDI KANU came up, they said they don't want separation. It's okay. You do not want separation. Look, put these things in order. The governors came to him. The federal government, through the governors, came to bribe MAZI NNAMDI KANU. They came to offer MAZI NNAMDI KANU bribe and said, MAZI NNAMDI KANU said, no, it is not about me. It is not about my person. It is about my people. The governors came and they said, oh, restructuring. MAZI NNAMDI KANU reminded them, the restructuring you are talking about is what our eternal leader, Dim Odumewiju, went for. And Nigeria refused and brought war. Okay, if you are talking about restructuring, go ahead and bring that restructuring. Let us give it our people. Once they accept it, I have no reason to speak. He told them, go and get restructuring. You will give me something to tell me to leave what I'm doing. He told the governors, go back. You cannot go and engage in a very weak point, with a very weak point. When you are engaging, you have to stand on a very high, with a very great point. You have to stand at a point of cover for you to engage. That they should use the agitation as a check for them to withdraw from the federal government the issue of restructuring. He advised them to go ahead, get it and come back, and then why do we have to make a noise? What did they do? This is another step MAZI NNAMDI KANU took to safeguard Nigeria. It wasn't to save Nigeria and allow it to remain the way it is. But the British wouldn't allow it. The Janjaweed wouldn't allow it. They used their governors. The next thing was Python dance. Python dance, which brought us to the case of MAZI NNAMDI KANU we are facing today. Python dance to take his life. In the process, 28 men lost their life in order to save MAZI NNAMDI KANU in his home. 28 men died. Jack also died to save MAZI NNAMDI KANU. 28 lives has to go. MAZI NNAMDI KANU narrowly escaped. That attack took the life of the parents of MAZI NNAMDI KANU, the mother and the father. Today they are dead. MAZI NNAMDI KANU did not even have the opportunity to say goodbye to them. They were buried in the same day. Every one of us watched it. I still have the video on my platform. The video of the burial, because we streamed it live. Then I was using my Facebook. You will still see it there. The burial of the parents of MAZI NNAMDI KANU. I streamed it live on my Facebook. King David exploit expose. That is how far we have come. I didn't start yesterday. That is why when some people begin to talk rubbish, I just look at them. I started broadcasting when Facebook was not about money. Facebook wasn't about money. It wasn't about anything. It wasn't when they have not started monetization. Nothing like all this monetized. That wasn't why I came in. We made that move. What did they do? MAZI NNAMDI KANU tried to salvage Nigeria. They brought death to us. They came with Python dance. Thousands lost their life. Up to this moment, as we speak, they are still losing that. As we speak, MAZI NNAMDI KANU today is facing persecution in the hand of the government because of that 10th time. The case MAZI NNAMDI KANU is facing now is all the way from 2015. 2015. That they framed him and say he jumped, but it was see that Python dance. They came to his house to take his life. In the process, to save MAZI NNAMDI KANU, 28 men went down. Up to today, nobody has been held accountable. Nobody is saying anything about it. Nobody talks about it. But they are busy in their courts today, talking about MAZI NNAMDI KANU, calling him a terrorist. If MAZI NNAMDI KANU were to be a terrorist, you think you can come to his house and take the life of 28 men and no soldier will go down? You are a joker. Even the Fulani Janjaweed that you follow, how many of you can attack Fulani Janjaweed and go free? Ordinary bandits that attack, they invade your barracks. You can't do anything. So if MAZI NNAMDI KANU were to be a terrorist, you think you can come to his house, take the life of 28 men, and you go? No single soldier was hurt. No single soldier was hurt. But you think we are that weak, huh? You think we are that weak? Be careful what you wish for. I am speaking to federal government of Nigeria. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. That effort MAZI NNAMDI KANU made to safeguard Nigeria brought death. Many people died. Many people died. And MAZI NNAMDI KANU narrowly escaped. And continue innocently and peacefully demanding for referendum, self-determination for his people. They couldn't bear to see him leave. They went to Kenya, kidnapped him against international law, extraordinarily rendition him to Nigeria. And today, in that injustice, they are persecuting MAZI NNAMDI KANU. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And within this period of his persecution, our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, a brother, came in to salvage the situation and say, no, I will not fold my hand and watch this happen. Because already, when they kidnapped MAZI NNAMDI KANU, they came to their national TV and they spoke in Hausa to celebrate the kidnapping of MAZI NNAMDI KANU. That is all over. They have now captured us. We are now permanently their slaves. They never knew that they made their greatest mistake. And Mazi Simon came into the picture. Mazi Simon took an extraordinary measure to protect Biafra land under self-defense. And he did a great job. And made sure that the kidnap of MAZI NNAMDI KANU remains useless in their hand. Mazi Simon came to the picture and gave us hope and faith. Did everything he could until he came to a time they activated the global conspiracy through the British. They went through NATO, went through Finland, convinced Finland, and Finland sold their soul and took away our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoku. And it's been 1 year, more than 1 year now. It's been a year plus. Mazi Simon Ekpa have been taken out of us, thinking that when they take him out and then all will be history. They never knew that the Biafrans have made up their minds on their way forward. Just like MAZI NNAMDI KANU said, even if it is one Biafran that is remaining, he will continue to fight until Biafra regains freedom. Even if it is only one person remaining, that one person will continue to fight for freedom until we regain our freedom. I just went back to give you this history for you to understand where we are coming from. For those who are not Biafrans or those who have forgotten these issues, I am telling these stories for you to know that we did not just wake up one day and begin to talk about Biafra or announce Biafra or say we are getting out of Nigeria or declaring Biafra. No. It took several steps trying to make things work, but it became obvious. It became very clear and obvious that Nigeria is irredeemable. The designation of Nigeria, you see, today didn't start today. There have been so many series of things happening. The genocide of Christians by Nigerian government didn't start today. It started way back. My own very self, I'm a witness. I have lived in the North. I'm not just saying it, I have lived in the North. So I have first-hand experience what it looks like to be a Christian in the North. This was before the issue of Boko Haram. Boko Haram started just yesterday. Boko Haram started yesterday. But this very persecution, you have seen many testimony coming from pastors from the North, people who conducted burial, mass burial in 2,000, but 1,000 plus people, 2,000 people, and more that, in different kinds of riot. Almost all the states in the North have always had riot. And when you hear about all this riot, it's attack against the Christians. Kaduna riot, Royal Yola riot, Jos riot, Bauchi riot, Sokoto riot, any place you hear of a riot, then they call it riot. Then it has not been to this level of terrorism. They call it riot. They just that was the name that was used that time. They call it a riot. But in all this riot, in each one, you will count dead bodies of Christians in thousands. In every one of them, you count dead bodies of Christians. And Nigeria will move on as if nothing happened. We have eyewitness accounts and testimonies from Biafran people who came back from the north empty-handed. In fact, they were lucky to come back with their life and swear never to go back again. But today, look at where we are. Look at where we are today. They expect us to continue to play the same game, continue to play the same mind game, continue to beg, continue to adapt, continue. I thank Chukwu Okike for the level we have gotten today, that there is no going back. And the message is clear. Now that the whole world is focused on the Zoological Republic, I know they are bribing. Their bribery is not strange. They are bribing everybody they can bribe. They are pushing all the kind of buttons they can push. But I bet you, it cannot hold water. It doesn't matter what they do. When the appointed time has come, there's nothing you can do. When the appointed time has come, there is nothing you can do. We have waited for too long for this moment. The Biafran people have waited for too long for this moment. And now that we are here, no man born of a woman will run ahead of Chukwu Okike. Chukwu Okike leads and everything fall behind him. And this is his battle. Not just us. That was why MAZI NNAMDI KANU said that the Biafra will come in such a way that no human being will take the glory. And that is what we are seeing. All we need to do today as Biafrans is to key in into the situation. We will continue to demand for the release of our leaders by all means necessary. We will continue to give voice to our leaders, MAZI NNAMDI KANU and MAZI Simon Ekpa. They will continue to speak through us every blessed day. You can't silence them. MAZI NNAMDI KANU will continue to speak through every one of us. That is why when you join this platform, share the program. It is not for me personally. It is not for you personally. It is for our voice collectively to be heard. You don't know who is going to come across the video. Maybe the one you share is the one people are going to come across. Maybe the one I share is the one people. Share the video when you come. You give a thumbs up and you share. It takes only one man to press that button and the whole thing will turn around. You see what Donald Trump is doing today? Only a tweet of Donald Trump. The whole world is talking about genocide of Christians in Nigeria. A tweet. Only a tweet. The whole world caught on fire. They paid attention. It takes only one man to make that change. The same way you had that tweet, we are drawing close to a time one man is going to mention Biafra. That word they don't want to mention, they are going to mention it, but it still lies on you. It lies on me. It depends on us. It depends on what we do today. We have every single opportunity to make that word they don't want to mention come out of their mouth. Chukwu Okike is going to force that word to come out of the mouth. And you and I are going to do our own part. We must do our own part. Focus. Focus. Don't get distracted. With the case of MAZI NNAMDI KANU and the case of our Prime Minister MAZI Simon Ekpa, they cannot shy away from the reality of Biafra as the only remedy to the failed state called Nigeria. My fellow Biafrans, wherever you are watching from, today we have come to this program and the title of the topic we are discussing today says, Breaking. It's a breaking news. We saw it yesterday. Breaking news yesterday. Yesterday, breaking news. MAZI NNAMDI KANU strike back. File motion to stop court judgment. November 28th. Nigeria in panic. Breaking. NNAMDI KANU strike back. Files motion to stop court judgment. November 20th. Nigeria in panic. This news came yesterday after our morning program. I spoke about it in the evening time, and I felt we still have to talk about it today. That our supreme leader, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, have filed a motion in the court. He filed a motion in the court to stop the judgment that is coming on the 20th. That was what we saw. And I felt it is something to pay attention to. We don't have to ignore it. Because when we talk of bringing the attention of the world, when we say we will not miss any opportunity, this is the time. This is the time. That was yesterday. After our morning program, breaking, NNAMDI KANU files application at appeal court seeking stay of proceedings in trial by Justice Omotosho. MAZI NNAMDI KANU have filed appeal court seeking stay of proceedings. MAZI NNAMDI KANU is taking every single step he has to take to get justice. In as much as we know that Nigeria is full of injustice, just like MAZI NNAMDI KANU called them, that what they have in Nigeria is a shrine of injustice, a temple of injustice. That is what they have in Nigeria. But in the midst of that shrine of injustice, every single step MAZI NNAMDI KANU is taking is to bring the attention of the world to what is happening. That is why we have to join him to speak up about this and make it go viral. It is our duty to join MAZI NNAMDI KANU. That is why I say MAZI NNAMDI KANU have a voice in me. He has a voice in you. How does he have that voice? Whatever project he puts forward, whatever he says, we have to push it out and let it go viral. Let ears hear it. Ears in the House of Commons, in the House of Assembly, across the world, in all parts of the world, wherever. In the United States, in Canada, in Australia, even in UK, there are sensible people there. There are people who have West conscience. In the United Kingdom, there are still men of conscience out there. In other parts of the world, we push these informations out. This is not like the days of Kensa Oyiwa, when the use of the internet is not as it is today, when the social media is not as viable as it is today. Nigeria have taken the life of so many innocent people. In their fake judgment, Nigeria has unjustly taken the life of so many people. And MAZI NNAMDI KANU say, I will be the end. And he's technically going to be the end. After this case of MAZI NNAMDI KANU, they will never try to push their injustice on any Biafra anymore. NNAMDI KANU application at appeal court seeking stay of proceedings in trial by Justice Omotosho. And he gave his reasons. He gave his reasons why he is putting in for that stay of execution. According to the call filing Sahara reporters obtained from Barrister Aloy Ejimako, special counsel to NNAMDI KANU, the detained IPOB leader, filed the application in person, praying the appeal court to stop Justice Omotosho from delivering judgment on his case on November 20th, 2025 as scheduled. That is the motion he filed. The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025, filed a motion on notice before the Court of Appeal in Abuja, seeking a stay of further proceedings in his trial by Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Abuja. According to the court filing, Sahara reporters obtained from Barrister Aloy Ejimako, special counsel to MAZI NNAMDI KANU, the detained IPOB leader, filed the application in person, praying the court to stop Justice Omotosho from delivering judgment on his case on November 20th, 2025 as scheduled. We are going to see what is going to be the outcome of this very motion. We know Nigeria is a lawless state. We are not hoping for anything positive to come, but we are going to follow all proceedings. We are going to exhaust every legal means that we have, in as much as we are dealing with an illegal country. He prayed for an order staying the proceedings of the trial court in case number FHC-ABJ CR 583-2015. Federal Republic of Nigeria versus Nnamdi Kanu, currently pending before Justice James K. Omotosho, pending the hearing and determination of the appeal pending against the decision in the case, particularly on its decision on the number case submission, its refusal to determine its jurisdiction. These are the reasons MAZI NNAMDI KANU gave why there has to be that stay of proceedings. Because of the decision of the court. Its decision on the number case submission, its refusal to determine its jurisdiction, and the validity of the court under which the appellant is being tried. You know, MAZI NNAMDI KANU was always saying, tell me the law under which you are trying me. He asked that question over and over in the court. It was not answered. He placed in a motion. It was not responded to. Only what they were doing is to push him to enter trial. And MAZI NNAMDI KANU say, after looking through my case, there is no judgment there. And I want to know, under which law are you trying me? A simple question. And he said, as soon as you tell me the law under which you're trying me, I will enter the dock and defend myself. In a court where there are senior advocates, about 5 of them, in the prosecuting counsel, you have the judge, you have the friends of the court. None of them was able to tell MAZI NNAMDI KANU the law under which he is being tried. Another one is its foreclosure of the appellant right to defend the case by fielding witnesses. You see how they cage everything. How they cage everything. So these are the complaints MAZI NNAMDI KANU. Because of this, Justice Omotosho has to be stopped from the proceeding. These are the hurdles he has to face. First of all, before ever he will talk about judgment. You have to cross these hurdles. But he jumped them and is going to judgment. And MAZI NNAMDI KANU filed the motion to the court. In a sane society where justice is the order of the day, Justice Omotosho has no right to pronounce any judgment on MAZI NNAMDI KANU until he has sorted out these very issues. Its decision on no case submission, he has not given a reason why he went down on that no case submission by MAZI NNAMDI KANU. Its refusal to determine the jurisdiction of the court has not yet been determined, whether the court have jurisdiction to try him first or not. And still, you have to go there. Explain to us if you have jurisdiction to try him first of all. Tell us, under which law are you even trying MAZI NNAMDI KANU? These are simple questions that need to be answered before you can be able to get through and say, okay, now you've got to pass judgment. These are the simple questions, motions that were raised by MAZI NNAMDI KANU, and he ignored them. You see the abuse of law and order in Nigeria. You see the injustice, very, very open. They are doing it boldly without care. They don't care how you feel. They don't care what you want to say. They don't care how you feel. They abuse MAZI NNAMDI KANU emotionally. They abuse him physically on different angles. And the world sit back and watch. The world sit back and watch. On his grounds for application, Kanu said that in spite of the jurisdictional question raised before the Federal High Court, the trial court refused to rule on them. You can imagine. They refuse, with all these motions raised, they refuse to rule on them. And they want to go ahead to pronounce judgments. the trial court refused to evaluate the evidence of the prosecution witnesses via vice versa, the cross-examination questions, to determine whether the evidence was discredited under cross-examination. He further stated, according to him, though the appellant filed list of witnesses to be called in defense of the case, and indicated that the appellant defense would come up and the appellant filed the witnesses, immediately the court determines the jurisdiction and the validity of the court. The trial court refused and held that the decision would only be given on the objection during judgment. Imagine. They gave him no response. They did not respond to every motion he has read. They never said it until they say they're going to talk about it on the judgment. Where does that happen? Simply because they have already concluded on what they want to do. Simply because they want to do what they want. It doesn't matter whether you say something or you don't say something. And MAZI NNAMDI KANU knows very well. I remember what Showore said. Showore said that he doesn't write statements in the court anymore. He doesn't write in his statement when he goes to the police. He doesn't write his statement. That it doesn't matter what you write or what you do, even when you take it to court, it doesn't matter. That Nigeria will do what they want to do. The judges belong to them. Everything belongs to them. They can just manipulate whatever they want to manipulate and go ahead with it. And that is what you are seeing in the case of MAZI NNAMDI KANU right now. Kanu noted the trial court, while refusing to rule on objection, foreclosed the appellant's right to defend erroneous allegation leveled against the appellant. The trial court has adjourned the matter for judgment on the 20th of November 2025. He stressed that if the application is not granted, the appellant may be unlawfully convicted without being afforded the opportunity of knowing the validity of the court, the jurisdiction of the trial court, and offering defense on the merit. This is how they spread their injustice. This is exactly how they deny MAZI NNAMDI KANU his right to defense. Every single motion he has do, they push it away. They don't want to talk about it. They never respond to it. They ignore it, and they're heading straight away to their judgment. Imagine, where do you see that? And how can you call this justice? That is why MAZI NNAMDI KANU call Nigerian court of law a shrine of injustice. A shrine of injustice. MAZI NNAMDI KANU maintained, further proceeding on the matter, we stultify the appellant right of appeal and any appellate decision fait accompli. The trial court and the appellant will not be prejudiced if the application is granted. The case having been prolonged since the year 2015, only to commence before the instance court sometime in this year 2025. He noted that it is in the interest of justice to grant his application and allow the matter to be taken on merit. In a sane country, the case of MAZI NNAMDI KANU cannot continue without you responding to his concern. In a sane society, there is no way you can continue hearing that case. In a sane society, there is no way you can continue to hear that case until you address the motion that was raised by MAZI NNAMDI KANU. But we know that Nigeria is not a sane society. Nigeria is not a country, has never been. Nigeria is not a country, has never been, and that is why we speak the way we speak, and that is why we decided to get out of the zoo by all means necessary. And I bet you nothing is going to stop us from living that zoological republic. Nothing on the planet Earth will stop us. Our mind is made up. We are living and we are living. And it doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter the angle you come from. We have left the zoological republic and there is no going back. For a very long time, Biafrans have tried everything they could to make things worse, to make things better. But the more we try, the more Nigeria proves that it is irredeemable. The more we try, the more Nigeria proves that it's irredeemable. So my fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world, we are here today in this airwave burning with things that matter to us. On the breaking news coming from MAZI NNAMDI KANU, he has filed a powerful motion in court to stop the so-called judgment scheduled for November 20th. MAZI NNAMDI KANU filed a very powerful motion that I just read out to stop the so-called judgment scheduled for November 20th. Yes, you had the right. You had it right. Why Nigerian political class hoped to silence him through a compromised judiciary. The Nigerian political class, more especially of the Southeast extraction, hoped to silence MAZI NNAMDI KANU through a compromised judiciary. The Lion of Biafra roared again. And this time, the world is watching. This very time, the world is watching. More especially because of the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. That designation of Nigeria has changed everything. It can never be business as usual. That is why I'm saying that we, the Biafran, have to seize the opportunity. Speak in all your platform and present these issues before the whole world. You never can tell who will come across your message. The judicial rascality in Nigeria is too much. We can't be silent. MAZI NNAMDI KANU have taken a bold step to stop the so-called scheduled judgment, an illegal process. They followed everything about the case of MAZI NNAMDI has always been illegal. These are people who have disobeyed the court order at every instant. MAZI NNAMDI KANU have won his case in 5 courts, 2 international and 3 local. And the federal government of Nigeria did not obey anyone. And now they are going further to pass their own judgment after refusing to address the motions raised by MAZI NNAMDI KANU. This motion, last motion of MAZI NNAMDI KANU, shocked the court. Let us begin with the fact. MAZI NNAMDI KANU, the retained leader of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, through his legal team, filed that very motion to halt anticipated judgments set for November 2025. Why? Because this judgment is being rushed. The judgment is being rushed. No normal procedure is taken. Political influence is there. Illegally orchestrated under a system that has violated every constitutional principle since his extradition and rendition from Kenya. This very motion of MAZI NNAMDI KANU sends a clear message. You cannot give a fair judgment built on illegality. That is a clear message that MAZI NNAMDI KANU is sending, that every one of us in our platform should join him and push this very information out there. You cannot give a fair judgment built on illegality. It's not done anywhere. The defense team argued no court can sit in judgment over an abduction and torture victim, while the same government remains in contempt of international law. How does it work? How does it work? The motion of MAZI NNAMDI KANU just passed is not just legal, it is very, very symbolic. This motion that MAZI NNAMDI KANU put in is not just legal, it is very, very symbolic. It represents a direct resistance to state-sponsored judicial manipulation. You know, MAZI NNAMDI KANU always say it, that their orchestrated global conspiracy stops with him. He always said, even in their court, he told them it stops with him. And this motion he's passed down, this motion he sent to them is speaking loud. It represents a direct resistance to state-sponsored judicial manipulation. It demands the rule of law must prevail before any ruling can be legitimate. Simple. The rule of law must prevail before any ruling can be legitimate. We are talking about a court of law. You know, when we say Nigeria is a lawless place, people don't understand. They think we are saying it out of emotion or because we are angry. No, no, no. It is a fact. And these facts are before you every day, except you are not following things that are happening in this Volatile Republic. And I pray that as this CPC designation is there, the whole world is paying attention. The whole world is paying attention. Now let's connect it out. The timing of this motion and the CPC designation of Nigeria are no coincidence. This motion of MAZI NNAMDI KANU, you see, MAZI NNAMDI KANU is a smart person. It's not. That is why, if you are a leader, you must be smart and you must have a listening ear. Your inner mind has to be open at all times to listen and know when to do. You have to be timely at everything. This very motion MAZI NNAMDI KANU put in is going to draw more international attention to his case. The U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, CPC, has once again placed Nigeria under country of particular concern for systemic religious persecution, human rights violation, and government complicity in genocide. Human rights violation and government complicity. What is happening to MAZI NNAMDI KANU today is human rights violation spelled out in ABC. What is happening to MAZI NNAMDI KANU is human rights violation spelled out in ABC. So when we are talking about this, Nigeria being a country of particular concern, let the international attention be drawn. Let them see a typical example of human rights violation in the case of MAZI NNAMDI KANU. A typical example. The injustice of Nigeria is so smelly and cannot be hidden. It is very clear, even to the deaf and dumb. They can see it in the case of MAZI NNAMDI KANU. That is why this motion he filed is very timely. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter the action the government of Nigeria takes. It doesn't matter what their court says. That motion speaks volume. And I'm happy. When I saw that motion, I was happy. More than happy. This designation means Nigerian atrocities, including what is happening to MAZI NNAMDI KANU, are now on the radar of the United States Congress. They can't escape it. Nigeria being designated as a country of particular concern. This designation of Nigeria means Nigerian atrocities, including what is happening to MAZI NNAMDI KANU today, are now on the radar of the United States Congress, the State Department, and international human rights courts. They are watching closely on what is happening in the case of MAZI NNAMDI KANU inside this country of particular concern. That is why we have to blow this very trumpet as loud as we can. Arnold advised us to talk more, speak more, share this platform, share the video to all platforms. You can cut it out and share. You never can tell who is going to come out and hear. You never can tell who will hear from you. Don't just sit and watch. While you are watching, you will like the program and you share. It will help people to get the information. I understand that there's an attack on our platform. I understand that's an attack. That doesn't matter. Do your own part and let it be. Only Chukwu Okukabiyama knows how he's going to send the message across. But we must do our own part. I have chosen my part and I will continue to do it. It is also signal possible sanction, what we are seeing. We are seeing a possible sanction coming very, very close. Visa restriction is loaded. Armed embargo is loaded on officials found complicit in such abuses. We know them, every one of them. They are known by the United States. They can continue to push their propaganda and blackmail. But I bet you they cannot get away with their plans against MAZI NNAMDI KANU. It's not going to work. So when MAZI NNAMDI KANU files a motion to stop judgment, it is not just a court document. It is a legal thunderbolt, timed with international awareness. He's effectively saying, let the world see how Nigerian lawlessness has gone. That is what MAZI NNAMDI KANU is saying. And being that is inside, it is you and I that will make that his voice to go far. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? MAZI NNAMDI KANU did not just file a motion to stop judgment. Get it clear. He did not just file a motion to stop judgment. It is not just a court document. It is a legal thunderbolt, timed with international awareness. MAZI NNAMDI KANU is effectively saying, let the world see how Nigerian lawlessness has gone. Go and read that motion and you will understand. That is why we have to carry it and run with it. Let the deaf and dumb hear it. Let the international communities hear it. Let the State Department take record that a country of particular concern is continuing on their illegality and the inhuman treatment and abuse of human rights to the highest level. This moment matters a lot. It matters a lot. This moment we are in, it matters a lot. This moment matters a lot. If you think it doesn't matter, think again. This moment we are in matters a lot. And wherever you are as a Biafran, wherever you are as a Biafran, you must sit up and know that we are in a very critical moment. We are in a very, very critical moment. This moment matters a lot. This motion could define, it could redefine the legal narrative of the Biafran struggle. In case you don't know, this motion of MAZI NNAMDI KANU could redefine the legal narrative of the Biafran struggle. For years, Nigeria has tried to make it look like MAZI NNAMDI KANU trial is a national issue. But now, it is a global issue. The trial of MAZI NNAMDI KANU is a global issue, not a national issue anymore. Every step Nigeria takes will be monitored by international observers. Every court proceeding will be scrutinized under the CPC lens. Every abuse in DSS custody will be documented for possible sanctions. In the court of MAZI NNAMDI KANU, international observers are there. They are coming in. They are coming in. And Nigeria cannot escape it this time around. When we talk about the opportunity of this time, the opportunity we have this time, we can't afford to miss it. That is why I preached a message I talked about focus. Every one of us must remain focused. Give a voice to MAZI NNAMDI KANU. Give a voice to MAZI Simon Ekpa. Don't let their voice go down. Even though they are behind bar, they have a voice inside you. Everything they need to say, they have said it for us. It is for us to regurgitate it over and over again for people to hear. This is the moment when truth confronts tyranny. A legal move that could expose the entire facade of Nigerian judicial system to the whole world. That is what we are seeing. And I bet you Abuja is panicking. They can pretend for all I care. Abuja is panicking as we speak. They are in panic. Make no mistake. There is panic in Abuja right now as we speak. The power circle that once believed they could dictate outcome now face a collapsing credibility crisis. For a long time, they have been taking decisions. They can do anything and get away with it. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not in the case of MAZI NNAMDI KANU. Diplomatic chatter is rising. Embassies are at alert. Reports are being sent to Washington, Brussels, and London.